Hey friends, I'm Mike Foster. I'm an executive counselor, host of Fun Therapy, and the author of a new book coming out called The Primal Question, The Real Reason Why You Do Anything and How It Changes Everything. My goal here is to help people build emotional fitness and strong lives and relationships. And that's what we're gonna do in this new series called Raising Your EQ, your emotional quotient. We're gonna make you smarter about your emotions starting right now. See, Wall Street Journal did an interesting article recently about Facebook. You probably have heard of it, right? And here's what the gist of the story was, that the Facebook algorithm elevates posts and stories that are more negative. The research shows in the article that the more negative, contentious, fear-based the story was, the greater the engagement. And engagement for Facebook equals dollars and success in their business model. They want you to be in a constant chicken fight with strangers on the internet. Guilty right here. You see, the more negative comments, the more arguments, the better. They play on anger and rage. Your biases are reinforced and rewarded. And this isn't just some theory or opinion. This is not even an attack on Facebook. This is just simply the facts. And if you have low emotional IQ and you're not smart about your emotional intelligence, if you're not smart about your feelings and how you manage them, you're just a sitting duck. And honestly, you're Facebook's favorite customer. And so this is why we're doing this series, because we all need to get smarter and wiser about our inner world of feelings and emotions and connection and our past traumas and wounding. It's honestly time to level up so we can be successful in our relationships and our families and at work, and no longer be controlled and manipulated because we're not emotionally smart or aware. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been enraged when someone cuts you off on the freeway? Or have you been happy one minute and then totally down in the dumps the next? Do you feel like you maybe can't cry at work or in front of people? Have you ever just completely lost it in front of your kids and then felt really guilty afterwards? Man, I think we've all been there. So here's my promise. If you want to change, you can. And if you want to grow, you can. And if you want a high EQ, you can have it. But honestly, I kind of want to be blunt here. You know, for too long, we've told ourselves excuses about why we behave the way we do. You know, we say things like, I've always been this way. I always react this way. I didn't have any healthy role models growing up. It's just in my DNA to be sort of emotionally out of control. I'm just an emotional person and I can't help myself. And all that sounds true, but also kind of a lame excuse for not pursuing emotional health in our lives. And so we're gonna raise our EQ through getting clarity on our inner world. You're gonna become emotionally strong and emotionally smart and emotionally strategic. You don't have to live in a constant state of stress or feel like your emotions are hijacking your life. This series will give you a massive advantage in every area of your life. I'm gonna give you some simple tools. I'm gonna tell you the truth. We'll keep it short and to the point. So what does it mean to have a high EQ, to raise your EQ, to be smart about your emotions and feelings and how they impact your life? Well, there's several pieces that go into making this, and there's really kind of three areas that we're gonna dig into over these next sessions. And those three areas are emotional agility, emotional choice, and overall emotional health. And these three categories make up your EQ. So let's talk about emotional agility. Emotional agility was, Dr. Susan David describes it this way. She says, emotional agility is an individual's ability to experience their thoughts and emotions and events in a way that doesn't drive them in negative ways, but instead encourages them to reveal the best about themselves. So we're going to talk a lot about this and give you tools to do this effectively. Secondly, emotional choice. This is where we have the ability and awareness to choose our emotions instead of our emotions hijacking our life. Getting on Facebook and having arguments with internet people. We change the emotional hierarchy and we'll give you more autonomy in choosing your emotions that are actually helpful to you. We no longer have to live at the mercy of our triggers. We don't have to live at the mercy of our trauma. We can reset our baseline for our reactions. There's a lot to say on that, and we'll be addressing this more in the upcoming sessions. And then finally, the third component of having a high emotional EQ is your overall emotional health. Just like having a healthy body and making the daily choices that have a healthy body, like, exercise and eating right, getting a good night's sleep, staying away from McDonald's Big Macs, emotional health is kind of the same way. It means you and I are creating habits and rhythms that help us to be emotionally healthy. So my goal here is just to turn on the lights for you, to help you see clear and to get the results you want when it comes to your EQ. I want to help you in the 3 areas of emotional agility, emotional choice, and overall emotional health. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Listen, Facebook doesn't get the final say. You can take back control. You don't have to be manipulated by your emotions anymore. Friends, it's time for all of us to get strategic and smart about our emotions. I'm Mike Foster, this is EQ, and we'll see you next time. And remember, if this has been helpful to you, it might be helpful to someone else too. So please take a moment and share and like this video.